That's quite an impressive bow you have there.
What now? Do I seem like anonymous threats of mine? You don't know. Whatever.
What is it? What? Absolutely not. I know someone's been threatening him, and I'm not happy about it. But I can assure you... What business? A lot of people have been looking for her. But it's been... No, it's not that. But I learned long ago not... But I don't want to seem obstructive. Scintilla was always a kind, well-behaved young woman. If anyone knows something, I'd expect it to be Sentia. You might fare better though, I suppose. If you're accused... Fine. Up to... Or...
Cerberus lifts his triple head and lets out his threefold braying.
Livia, would you stop muttering like Medea over a cauldron? You'll scare away my customers.
They follow their trades, imitating their previous lives, but they are ignorant.
This again. You're in a world of your own.
Ah, you again. No idea what you're talking about? Ah, look, it's the rheumatism. I know that's not an excuse. I'll leave him alone from now on. I'm going to go.
Any news about... You went snooping in his place. Have you... Really? Ah, poor fellow. I've heard that can really mess with a person's head. Really? That's promising. Well, Malleolus is talking about loosening some of... My vote isn't for sale. Nice to talk to you.
What now? Not that it's any of your business. Unfortunately, see, Dimitri, the man's a savage. Sentius knows about it. This place will be different with that Slays at the house. I suppose. All right.
Are they? Ah, you've returned. Do you have any news about your investigation? Of course. What is it? Yes? Why do you say that? Then you'd better find a way to make him back down, hadn't you? Good. Ah, you've returned. Yeah. Why do you... When you say he asked for help, you're not... Good. But still, he's been trying to enlist help with this for months. Even if you don't help him, thank you for bringing this to my attention. Well then, in that case, as magistrate, I hereby declare him an... I don't believe so, no. So now you're an expert on... If ever there was a time to dispense... Anyway, I would think that bow york... Thank you. Please...
Fear
Isn't
is
keeping an
proof
eye
of
on
a
things
degenerate
always
mind. As always,
Whatever's in that great temple.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Finish the job. I beg you.
Hide!
Salve, friend. Mind telling me who you are and what you're doing with that bow on your... Yulia? Poor... All right. I'll...
You, Sisyphus, attack or pursue the stone.
Salve, friend. I'm Octavia. Welcome to life under the Golden Rule. It's a ghastly thing. All right.
I can't believe this is how it ends.
Oh no. No. No, 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 no. Ulpius, what are you doing?
That's the idea.
What?
Why do you...
I know. Please, please, help him.
You... No... Well, you don't under... It's... If I back... Oh, but we're still in debt. No, I'm out. Wherever you are. Scintilla, my love. I'm sorry.
Ulpius, no! I hope you're taking care of yourself.
Hello? Hello? My friend Hannibal used to look up. He said if anything ever happened to him, he gave me this key and made me promise to keep. All I remember is he said something about the cistern. Now nobody looks after me. Hannibal said... Galerius already tried that. He said... What about the rules? Like, if you help make him magistrate, Hannibal said it was... Bye-bye.
Ah, a visitor. Welcome, welcome. It's a since. Tell me. Then perhaps the fates. I will tell you everything I know. But first, the one thing I long for above all else before I die. Let us find out with this simple question. You have much to learn. It's best if you figure it out on... Then you should speak with your contemporaries in the city above. It is best if you come to this realization for yourself. Ah, I will tell you everything. Let us... Ah, you've returned.
Salve.
All weapons are to be tossed into the chasm.
What are you doing here? Please leave. I said please leave. You're trespassing.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
I hope you're taking care of yourself.
Wonder how much one of these statues is worth on the outside.
Citizen.
Salve again, friend. I went and did as you are. How is it possible that you've... You're a Sisyphus. Yeah, that... Sisyphus was a Greek king a long time ago. He was forced to push a great boulder up to the top of a hill, forcing him to start over. Actually, now that I think about it, there are a bunch of old stories about the gods. Tantalus was made to grasp at fruit on a tree he could never quite reach. Oh, and Ixion was strapped to a wheel going round and round forever. Anyway, I don't know which god, so I'll tell you what. I'll keep doing whatever I can to... Oh, that's kind of you to say. Now, I'm going to keep your secret. Oh, and if our conversations ever start to annoy you, just tell me you're busy. I know when I'm not wanted.
What are you doing here? Please leave.
Hello. My friend, he said he gave me all I now know. Hannah. You're going to. Oh. Gold? You mean? Bye bye. Hello. Bye.
Ah, a fellow traveler from a far away. Greetings. I'm Georgius, and I must say, leather boots in place of. I have traveled distant trade routes from, and never have I seen anyone. Then you are an explorer, like me. We will have much time here to get to. My story? How kind of you to ask. I am a. You mean to say. I'll tell you, it is precise. I say, the more of our customs we preserve them. Oh, if we all end up as golden statues for future generations to marvel. A good question. A very good question indeed. And I would be happy to tell you. I remember I had just been. I rented a prestigious villa and we began making our. Now, I have had visions and a walk. This time, I remember people screaming. When I regained my faculties, I was lying naked by the banks of... Indeed. I'm lucky I was carrying a little extra weight. I believe it kept me afloat. In any case, it seems I'd been rescued and resuscitated by a benevolent stranger. I went to find firewood for his campfire, stumbled across a cave. Anything you... Shh. Have you not been to... Oh, then... Aha! Of course, the first question any of us asks when we first arrive, and scaling the chasm wall is out of the question, for it is simply too steep and too far. But as they say, if the wind fails, use the oars. And here the second option is to leave the way we came in, through the shaft above the bathhouse. See, the shaft is quite high, but if one gathered up enough wood, one could make... They have! There was an attempt made by... They even decided to keep records of their escape attempt for posterity. They heard a godlike voice shake the entire city. So it seems that to merely attempt escape is to... Ah, yes. The man is else... Have you not heard the tale of the god Hades? When Demeter, the mother of Persephone, learned of this, instead, she changed the climate of Earth, so that it became hot and dry. Innocent people died by the tens of thousands. So yes, we know this rule. This has all... If we are to survive, I say we must each keep the sin. Avoid doing what you... It does, doesn't it? But for even if 99% of us adopt, sadly, no matter how well we... the voice of experience. But on a lighter note, I will say, for all their grim and haunting poses, these golden statues do make magnificent. That, my friend, is quite the dilemma. But I do not enjoy the thought of another visit from Domitius. Nothing. I hope that... Greetings and salutations.
A new face. Oh. Oh, keep up, live. It must be complete. It'll be between Sentius. Why do you... I like the idea, but I know Galerius. It was only yesterday that he said to me he'd only ever run if it was absolutely necessary to make sure Sentius wasn't re-elected. So, I suppose if you'd like to see Galerius elected magistrate, you'd need to persuade Malleolus to withdraw somehow. Certainly. Come back.
All weapons are to be tossed into the chasm. Magistrate's orders.
Thank you. Thank... Domitius doesn't usually let anyone in here without... Of course not. But as I always say, if Sentius can't protect his... Look, if you're trying to find her, you may wish to check the cisterns beneath this... Of course, just to be clear, I take no responsibility for what... Are you insane? Why? You've...
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Salve, friend. Oh. You poor... All right. Up.
You, Sisyphus, attack or pursue the stone.
Ah, a fellow traveler from a faraway land.
Salve, Fred. Welcome to life.
I can't believe this is how it ends.
Oh no. No. No, 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 no. Ulpius, what are you doing?
That's the...
What?
Why do you...
I know. Please.
I'm sorry.
Please, help him.
You... Well, you don't... If I... Oh, that was... Really? Wait. You'd do that for us? It seems today we're both blessed. Thank you, friend. Thank you. I'll go and pay off our debts immediately. I just wish there was some way I could repay you. But I have nothing but the tunic on my back. I'll go and take care of things with Malleolus and tell Yulia the good news. Thanks again, friend.
What you did was... Please keep that to yourself. There was a terrible fire in Rome last year. Oh, thank you. I'm afraid not. I don't put a lot of... If that doesn't... I hope it...
A golden bow, just like Apollo and Diana's.
Shalom. Scintilla and I were in love. All right. One night a few months ago, when I was cleaning Malleolus's villa, I wasn't allowed out. So once everyone else was asleep, I climbed up the inside of the villa and onto the roof, just to see where that sound was coming from. And that's when I saw her. Standing in the garden of the magistrate's villa, I just sat there on the roof, listening to her with my chin on my knees. And for the first time in a long time, I felt. And then she looked up and saw me, and from the moment she asked my name with this warmth and so for weeks on end, each night I'd climb out of the villa and into her father's garden. We'd hold hands and talk, and then one morning I woke up and everyone was out. All I could do was keep... All I know is she loved me. She'd never have taken her own life. I can't prove it, but I just know she's still alive somehow. Somebody abducted her. My guess? Malleolus had something to do with it. I have no idea where he'd be keeping her, but there is one room in... I've never seen the inside of it, and I haven't been able to steal a key without breaking the golden rule. But I have a feeling that if you could get in there somehow... Let me know what...
A golden bow, just like Apollo and Diana's.
Shalom. You mean... You're right. I don't. Well, neither of us have a couple of hours. Oblige, of course. Thanks. Sentius, I suppose. All right, friend.
Hey, you're not thinking about going into the cistern, are you? Nobody's told you about Hannibal? So, there was this guy called Hannibal, right? Funny accent. Used to go down into the cisterns looking for junk he could clean up and sell. One said he could hear spirits wailing. Of course, nobody believed him, because who trust... Anyway, a few days later, he goes back in. And hours go by, and he hasn't come... So I go down after him, and it's dark. But in the distance, I can just make out his body, sprawled out on the ground. And hunched over him was something that made my blood run cold. No word of a lie. I saw a creature. Like the corpse of a man who'd been flayed. And it was eating Hannibal. Well, any sane person would have done. Well...
found you. Thank Juno, you're here. You have to help me escape before that monster comes back. I'm Scintilla. I found a way out through the Gate of Horn, but it's locked. So I told him about it, and instead of helping me escape, he locked me up. He wants to keep us all here forever, or until we're turned to gold. He's a monster. You have to let me go so we can kill him and take his key. Sentius, my adoptive father. Furies help me. I'll castrate and crucify him. I don't know. He said the gods are on his side because they don't want... Behind me, there's an aqueduct tunnel bringing water from outside the city, so it should lead us outside. The only problem is it's barred by a heavy locked gate, and... I'm going to take that key from around his neck. I'm done caring about the Golden Rule. There won't be enough time. Just... There's no time. Wait, did you hear that? Oh, thank you. Now follow... He's here. You distract him. Stay right here and keep him talking while I look for something I can use.
What did you do with Scintilla? Where is she? So that is how it's going to be. Oh well, this doesn't change anything for me. It's a shame, really. If you'd just done what you were supposed to, you'd have been looping through time forever until you gave up and killed yourself. Just like that soft-hearted pleb, Al. Come now. Surely you didn't think you were the only one here who remembered everything. You see, my connection to the portal somehow preserves my memories from one loop to the next. Whether that was Proserpina's intention or a happy accident, I'll never know. But I'm surprised you hadn't noticed. Here I was thinking you're a little bit sharper than Al was. Or perhaps you're just more willing to break the rules. He was a moralistic fellow, never once compromised on his principles. And because of that fatal flaw, he relived this day many thousands of times before we finally had this conversation. I watched him come through the portal each time, always a little older, a little more disheveled, a little more haunted. And when he finally saw the futility of it all, as you're about to, it broke him. He drank a jug of wine, tied a noose around his neck, and took his own life, just before he was shot with a golden arrow. The next time I awoke, you showed up, but you've caught up to where he was so quickly. I'd have preferred if you'd given me more time to enjoy the trappings of my success. How many extra days did you give me? Just the 7? Not a lot compared with Al, but I've seized every day, nonetheless. In any case, there's no escape for you except the path that Al took, the path he wrote about on his tablet. What was it? Ah, yes. Better to end it all now than find out what awaits you beyond that portal. So, you discovered my secret. So what? What are you going to do about it? Why? Isn't it obvious? Because I have grown attached to all this. My title, my beautiful villa, the sun on my face, the music of birds chirping. And as long as this day keeps repeating, I have found a way to prolong my life indefinitely, to cheat death. I have become, in effect, as immortal as the gods. Can you honestly say you would not wish the same for yourself? Of course, There's no way you could have succeeded. Every soul who has... Man will always sin sooner or later. Any idiot could tell you this. As I told you the first time we met, by reliving the same day over and over again forever. And I will continue living long after your dust. Do you really think you can take on a Decurion with that flimsy little bow? Who? Scintilla? Where is she?
I'm right here, Father.
The many shall suffer.
I have his
for the sins
I
of
can
the
open
one.
the gate. Come on, we have to go. Hey, what's happening to you? That light, it's so bright.
Hi there. Gave me a bit of a fright. Thought I was in here alone. I'm Al. Well, here I am. I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name. Funny you should ask. I was just reading an old tablet I found here. It described an event about 2,000 years ago. Someone with your name appeared in the city out of the freed an imprisoned woman named Scintilla, who then murdered her captor, breaking some kind of ancient law. It said the attack caused golden statues to come alive, hunting down everyone in the city and turning them into gold. Apparently, the only person to survive was Scintilla, while the stranger disappeared in a flash of light. What? You're saying... God, why does this write? I've spent a lifetime... This is... So you're saying, because a man from 2,000 years ago is dead, he never created a time portal, so I never went through it, and that's why I don't remember any of this. I guess you saved my life then, as well as helping that poor woman to escape. That's a lot to take in. Maybe we can escape through the same aqueduct Scintilla used, if we can find it. I'm gonna pause here for a moment and make sure nobody else has ever lured into this temple. You go on ahead. I'll be there soon.
You're back! But you're alone. Ah, what a relief. Thank you. Why don't you tell me what you discovered? Really? Sounds amazing. Ow! It's so good to see you.
Kinda lost track of time in there. You wouldn't believe what we found. And there was a tablet describing an event 2000. Supposedly, the city was destroyed when a woman murdered my new friend here. I know how crazy.
Maybe not that crazy. That woman. I don't suppose her name was... Scintilla?
How could you... What?
She left a tablet of her own. I stumbled across it. Well, I think she meant for you to read it. Here, take a look.
I don't know what became of you, or if you'll ever read this, but I want you to know that I will never forget you, or what you did for me. It pains me that so many dear friends were not so fortunate. Ulpius, Sentia, Lucretia, Horatius, Galerius, poor Dooley, and the others. But please understand, their blood is on my hands, not yours. I will live with the consequences of my actions, and all I can do is move forward, trying to show others the same compassion you showed me. I promise you that saving my life will not be for nothing. Scintilla.
Sounds like you meant a lot to her. I'd love to hear your story. You two look exhausted. Why don't...
Sounds good to me.
And you?
You. Behind me. What? I hate you. I spit on...
So you survived the system.
All weapons are to be tossed into the chasm.
Don't get cocky. Malleolus isn't when Malleolus... I think... We've already... What?
On your best behavior, I trust?
Oh, another one fresh out of... Oh, I wish
We're finally alone. I assume... Is that a... Seems rather... Me? You know, you remind me of him. I'll work. Come now. You see, my connection to the portals. But I'm surprised he was a moralist. And because of that fatal flaw, I watched it. And when he fight, the next time I awoke, I mean, you've lived through the day 8 times? Most impressive. And yet everything you've... Because there's no escape. Except the path that Al took. The path he wrote about on his tablet. What was it? Ah, so you discovered my secret. Why? Isn't it ob? And as I have found a way. And why would I? The only way you're getting this key, and if I die, You see, it was my actions that brought you to this point in time. So if you kill me, that means if I die, you'll be flung back to your original. You might want to think that through. Oh, you understand? I certainly hope not. In fact, I want it to go. What are you going to do? Beg the gods? Now, get out of my...
All weapons are to be tossed into the chasm. Magistrate's orders.
Arve. A new face. Arve. Well, I suppose we'd first need to figure out which... This might sound like a strange question, but please, humor me. Karen? Old. I apologize. Have you... I really think you... Good. I just... You have... I see. And because I've... All right, you're here. You were asking how I knew the young woman you met by the river was wearing a hood. Here, look down at the bottom of the baths. It's a little hard to make out in this light. If only we could see. Oh, what a marvelous lamp. But do you see it? Somebody waking up by a river in a forest to find a hooded figure with a coin. It's just as you described it, only your pronunciation is a little off. The name you heard wasn't Karen. It was C-H-A-R-O-N, as in Charon, the ferryman of the dead. Charon, who, in exchange for the right coin, helps the souls of the newly deceased cross the Styx, the river that separates the land of the living from the land of the dead.
When I dragged you out of the river, I thought you were never gonna wake up. I checked your pockets for ID, but all I found was some loose change. Feels like I've spent my whole life in a dead-end job with an endless commute. Sorry if I sounded cagey, it's just that I don't always get the best reactions when I introduce myself. My name's Karen.
There are a bunch of old stories about the gods punishing people by making them do the same futile task over and over. But, on the bright side, at least you're not stuck in the underworld like they all were.
I'm so sorry, my friend. I'm so sorry. I take it you know what this means. I'm afraid so. It's all starting to make sense. All these people whose last memory was running from the fires toward the river. It seems none of them escaped with their lives after all. Perhaps we should be grateful they don't remember their final moments. It also tells us that the Golden Rule is the work of Pluto, the god of the underworld, and why his epithet has always been Father of Riches. I know it's a lot to take in, and you look as if you have questions, so I'll try to answer them if I can. That was my first thought too. in the old... But it was also possible for the living to reach it without dying. Oh, I'm sorry. I keep forgetting you're not from here. If you were, each of them is slightly different. Whether the story... But they always involved the souls of the dead, meeting a grim ferryman named Charon. It was said that he'd help the new arrival cross, only if they could pay him with a coin. And that's why it was once our custom to bury our loved ones with a coin in their mouths. Charon's obol, we called it. Of course, an obol was a kind of Greek coin, because we inherited this knowledge from the Greeks. To be fair, the ferryman isn't exactly as the poets described, and he, she, they seem to appear to different people in different guises. You say you saw a young woman named Karen with a hood, and I once heard Kabash mention a stranger in a ram headdress named Kerti, and Rufius described meeting a stranger named Kumut Tabal wearing an eagle headdress. But whatever form this stranger took, they were always wearing a hood of some sort, and their name always began with a K sound. I suspect the only way you'll solve this riddle is if your paths cross again. Good question. Let's see. In the stories, but that never made any sense to me. In our case, it seems Charon didn't take the coins we had. He or she merely checked So, maybe there's something special about the coins each of us had on us. That might explain why... No. I mean, I had my Now that we know where we are, we have to figure out what to do about it. If we don't want... We don't have much to go on, except the old stories. I remember 4 in particular. Hercules, the demigod and son of Jupiter, Orpheus, a Thracian poet, Sisyphus, a king of Ephyra, and Hercules was able to leave the underworld because he cowed its god with his strength. Sisyphus and Orpheus both relied on their wits instead. They persuaded the goddess of the underworld, Proserpina, to help them escape. And finally, Aeneas was able to escape with the help of a spirit guide, who led him through a secret gate. So it seems you have 2 options: to confront the god of the underworld head-on, or find a way to escape with the help of Proserpina or some other guide. It's a reasonable question, but the problem is, this place is fairly well, and even if you could build a ladder big enough, just trying it would break the golden rule. All Romans try to avoid saying it, and the reason is quite simple. You may refer to him as Pluto, if you wish, but you'll only be calling attention. Shh! Is everyone so blunt where you're from? Oh! That option would be the boldest, but also the only way to... As I said, Hercules managed to overpower the god. Are you telling me... I won't pretend to understand exactly what that means. So, if you... Who knows? Perhaps you're... But first, you'd need an audience with you-know-who. And for that, you'll need to enter the group. The problem is, the door has been sealed shut for as long as I've lived. I suspect the answer lies in the desecrated obelisk in front of it. I'm not sure if... It looks as though somebody, or a series of somebodies, if you could recover and replace all 4... It's the towering stone monument with 4 sides and a pyramid-shaped head that stands before the great... You'll find them all over Rome. But of course they were looted from Egypt. However, this one is unusual in that each of the 4 sides is decorated in a different... That means you'll need to recover 4... I don't know. But perhaps you should begin your search with the local Greek fellow, Georgius. Perhaps Kabash, our Egyptian... But I did hear Aurelia is peddling rumors about him at the tavern, so perhaps you could talk to her. Or just take... I'm afraid you're on your own with... As I mentioned, both Orpheus and Sisyphus were said to have persuaded Proserpina to help them escape, and Aeneas was... The problem is, those are the stories of a poet, a self-aggrandizing... First, Proserpina. What we do know, it's said, the god of the underworld abducted and dragged her here against her will, forcing... If the stories are true, the problem is, how do we... Leaving that aside for a moment, there is also the... Truly? Then again, I suppose you were worried I'd think you... Can you tell me more? Fascinating. Perhaps she's a benevolent spirit. Or perhaps... Perhaps, if she has indeed been abducted, tell me, has she told you anything that might... Truly? Ah, I see. Then it seems you have made a great sacrifice. But unfortunately, I'm afraid your only other All right. I would suggest not discuss. As for Livia, it seems she's been shouldering the weight of this terrible secret all this time. In any case, may Fortuna guide...
Shalom. You... I... Well... Thank... Oh...
Just as the ocean, but it does... Say it. Then it... I thought I saw it, but when the rest of them could not, I had to tell myself it was true over and... I must apologize if my words seem cryptic. He gives such an uncanny description of this place. I will do my best. There is a downward path, the sluggish, the wide, as the... There the others. I hope I have done it, and now we share a secret. It's as if you've lifted a great...
Come and join me by the fire. Welcome. It's a sincere pleasure to meet you. Tell me, what brings... Ah, Kabash. I will tell you everything I know. The one thing, let us... Excellent. I see you are indeed. Now, will you join... Wonderful. Would you say you know the difference? And to what extent? You sound confident, but I must ask, knowing that your moral errors will result in the deaths of yourself, Interesting. I'm reminded of something Socrates. Better to know that you know nothing than to know nothing and think that you know. It is because knowledgeable people have learned enough to know they know very little in the broader scheme of things. You see, out there in the world, being uncertain about right and wrong was acceptable because our mistakes. So we would tell lies and bend rules and turn a blind eye and rationalize, and yet still find a way to think of ourselves as good people. But under the Golden Rule, morality matters. The slightest wrong. So to navigate this maze, we would have to be certain about the difference between right and wrong. That is an excellent question. So let me ask you this. Is there one system of morality which is always perfectly correct? Are you sure? Or is it possible? So is it up to each of us to decide what right and wrong mean to us individually? So if a man feels that stoning to death his unfaithful wife, I agree. But why? Didn't... And that's a credit to you. It is the mark of a civilized person to change. My point is this. I don't think anyone alive truly knows any hard and fast rule. Surely you would agree there are circumstances where an exception may be made. For any rule, you can imagine there are countless situations in which that rule may be suspended. And if there is one thing I have observed about rules, it is that virtuous people do not need them, and evil people will always find a way. And so we must accept our limitations, and the sad truth that no human society will ever achieve the utopia for which it strives. In mathematics, we would call it an asymptote, a line that can be approached but never reached. Because the only way to create a utopia is with the ever-present threat of force, such as the Golden Rule. This and no other is the route from which a tyrant and life under tyranny. I'm glad to hear. In any case, thank you for... You mean, how did I end up living alone in this cave? I was a quarrelsome young man. At 9, back then I used to enjoy verbally spark. It became heated, he drew a gladius. I woke up on the banks of the Styx at a campfire opposite Karen. Of course, I tried to persuade her to let me return. I settled in, made friends, and learned what I could, quickly realizing, so I began looking for a place to hide underground. Fortunately, I found this place. I returned to my friends above, persuaded them to join me, and 12... They are one and the same. The Romans call him Pluto, but long before that, my people called him Hades. My generation was wiped out, turned to gold, many years ago. But I think it's safest to assume that if I was to return, Hades would realize that he's... I fear that if you were to utter my name in the city, even by mistake, I'm afraid I am the only one left. Some from malnutrition. It has been lonely. Before my unexpected visit from Kabash some weeks ago. Living in darkness is not without its challenges. The first challenge is diet. And sometimes, when there are Greek people living up above, I surface at night and salvage the offerings they've left in the temple of Demeter. The greater challenge is the isolation. So I like to imagine arguments, like so many things in life. As you wish. Ha! If I did... Did we not discuss it at length, or... You seek the plaque buried... It is a cursed object, and I would be happy. I will tell you, but you may find him hostile. To prepare for it, very few know this, but before the Romans came to this city, when the Romans came, in typical fashion, they claimed it as their own. Thus, the Shrine of Persephone became the Shrine of Proserpina. And when they found an obelisk bearing the name Hades, and the city's dwindling Greek residents witnessing this compulsive Roman conquest, they gathered their art and valuables, secreted them away through the Temple of Demeter, and... However, there was one thing that always seemed an even older plague. We had no idea until a year. As a result of their deaths, we began to dig catacombs branching off from this cave. We extended the tunnel so far that we accidentally discovered another. Suddenly it made sense why there was an out of place. You see, we proud Greeks had thought the Romans beasts for stealing. But it turns out this game has been going on. I think it is best you head through the catacombs. There are certain things. Take this key. I enjoyed our chat.
Stop! Do not come any closer. Who are you? I am Kabash. And let me guess. Another Greek or Roman come to loot and plunder the resting place of my ancestors, Trousers, boots. That is welcome new. I was planning to return it Here, take it. Now, as for the other plaque. Indeed, I have it right here. I stumbled across a collection of dusty curiosities while searching for a place to hide from the... You may not. In fact, because it speaks it... I will tell you, but first... Indeed, and I see you know our history. This is the Duat. See what has become of it. I have been down here for weeks, piecing as Egypt declined and the Greeks had their turn to flourish. Their souls came here in great numbers, but instead of adopting us, when they found the obelisk bearing the name Osiris, the true god of the underworld, they desecrated it, removing his name and replaced even the ferryman of the dead, known as if that desecration was not enough. They built over this place, using it as the foundation for their own underworld, so that ours... My only solace is that the Greeks then suffered the same fate when the Romans rose to power, renaming Hades to Pluto, and the cycle began anew. It is inscribed with a script I do not recognize, but it is ancient. It would imply the gods of Egypt are and that my people did to them what the Greeks... I sense a deception. Perhaps it is the work... You must think me up. This work of You are too late. It is done. You would plunge into the depths of the Duat with no way back up. If it... I am from Rakotis. Since the... When it did... This is where I think if someone is to do to the... As for the... I do not know. What could possibly lie beneath the underworld? All I know is everyone so good. Wait. You are You would plunge into the... When I told you that you would not find a way back up, that you will die here. I disagree. You have undermined and dishonored the true god of the underworld. How did you think? Very well, I will listen. But why should I let... Then you admit it. You, many of my ancestors, we prepared to have our hearts weighed, and yet I arrive here to find the... Did our priests steal and embellish this story? Blasphemer! You have... Ha, good. I welcome it. You see, the philosopher told me that each time it breaks, Osiris bellows with... I can only hope one more tremor will lay wait.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
When I... Why? But that makes no sense. How would it... Now that I think about it, my people would sometime, but the underworld of my people is so different to this one. And many of my ancestors endured great... We prepared to have our hearts weighed, and yet I arrive here. Did our priests... I am not sure I... Now you insult me. You...
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
When I... What? But... I did... I am... Perhaps... Very well. I will remain here for a while and attempt to learn...
Ah, you've returned. Good to see you again. I enjoyed...
A fellow traveler. Greetings. I'm George. And in a city full of Romans, you are asking me? Because my name is Georgios, yes. But the Romans, they do this all the time. I am flattered that they call. At first, I pull my hair out. But my point is this. If the plague you seek, he cannot help it. Like a typical. And besides, it makes him happy. I hope.
Salve, Dooley. How are you doing today?
I'm sad. Am I going to die in here?
I don't think so, my friend. It's election day today. Perhaps our new magistrate will be kinder than Sentius and let you out.
I hope so. Hello.
Do you like it?
But... well... like...
Yeah, Galerius will let me.
Salve again, friend. How... Oh, of course. Ah, it's you now. I've bounced the idea around once or twice, mainly as a way of getting... But from what I hear, Malleolus had... And maybe that's... Because... And how could you know that? You overheard him say that? Well, in that case, we need to find a way to make sure If you can do that, and... Oh.
Deeply honored to have been elected.
I'm not supposed to be in here. Talk. My marital affair. Perhaps you're not as silly as... You know, some time ago, when he still cared... Now, addressing one's wife by the wrong name is not unheard of among philandering. I confronted him about it. I let it go. But... Oh, aren't you charming? I'm quite sure it seems our interests are aligned. I imagine no... But first, I want you to bring... Oh, don't look at me like that. Let me... After all I've done for him. He said it was for my... Tonight, I am... So... Thank you. Now, perhaps you can tell me who Quincti... What? He's... Oh no. That's... Give me that immediately. What? No. It was a lie of a mission. You were I curse you. This is outrageous. Demetrius.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Domitius doesn't usually let anyone in here without... My name is... I like... That's... Why? I suppose that... So... Oh, so much work and Fine. Ruling this. I'll have Domitius notify the priestess of my withdrawal. There. You got what you wanted. Now... I want you to go and inform Equitia.
Sir? Are you under duress, sir?
I just had a change of heart.
But you were on track to be magistrate, sir. All that work, all that money, wasted.
Those are my orders. Carry them out.
As you wish, sir.
Shalom. All right.
Ah, it's you again. No. He did? Oh, that was... I'll let Equitia know. All right.
So you survived this... What now? What?
Sure. That's a shame.
Citizen. Name's Grufir. Galerius. Sorted out. Fine.
You look well, my son. Hello. Galerius. But of... I hope...
Salve. Ah, and I hear we have you... Galerius. All right. Nice.
Ave again. Certain. Mayfall. Ave. It must be. It'll be, but why do you? As I said. Very well.
Hello?
Citizens, it is time. Let us meet to elect our magistrate.
Time to go to the theater.
I hope you're coping.
Citizens, we have a quorate body of voters gathered here to elect the city's magistrate. The candidates are Sextus Sentius Imperiosus and late nominee Gallus Galerius Helver. Marcus Malleolus Gurges withdrew his candidacy earlier today. As agreed, we shall dispense with ballots and candidates will abstain from voting. Let's make this quick. As I say your name, call your vote. I'll start with you, Horatius.
Sentius, of course.
Georgius.
Galerius. He saved the life of my dear friend Fabia.
Dacius.
Sentius.
Virgil.
The man who put a stop to the threats I've been receiving. Galerius.
Ulpius.
Galerius, the man who saved my life.
Rufius.
The man who treated my rheumatism. Galerius.
Citizens, you have made your decision. Your new magistrate is Gallus Galerius Helver.
What?
It has been decided. Magistrate Galerius,
I just want to say, this isn't something I ever wanted. Now that you've put your trust in me, I'm going to do everything I can not to let you down. I'll need some time to put together a list of the changes I want to make around here. But I promise you, there will be changes. My first order is that Dooley is to be freed. Horatius, release him from his cell immediately. Please. Wait, do I need to say please? I suppose not. That's it. You can all get on with your day. Nothing else to see here. Move along.
See you.
Fortune smiles on you today, Duilius. Magistrate Galerius here has ordered your release.
You're going to let me out of here?
I'm sorry it took so long, my friend.
That's quite
and
an impressive
it wouldn't have happened at all if it wasn't for a newcomer.
Just like Dan.
So be sure to offer your thanks when you can.
I will. I will. Thank you, Galerius. I'm so happy.
I'd love to stay and chat, but I've got a lot of work ahead of me. Why don't you go to the baths? Then tell Georgius I said you could have some new clothes.
Isn't the great
Then
temple
I want you to go
majestic?
home and rest. I'll speak with you soon, Dooley.
Oh, hello. Hello? Oh, thank you. You maybe my friend, but please help me find it. Oh, thank you. I hope you find it. Oh,
Maybe it is treasure.
Salve.
The many shall. fool to go.
Salve, friend. You lead. All right.
And here you are. Allow me to introduce myself. As you have already gathered, I've been known by many names. Nergal to the Sumerians, Osiris to the Egyptians, Hades to the Greeks, and Pluto to the Romans. But the one constant through it all has been my title, God of the Underworld. And I've been watching you with curiosity, mortal, ever since your arrival. And what is more, you carry a weapon that was never intended for mortals to wield, and but there will be time for your first, as a reward for undoing the destiny. My story is many thousands of years. It is a matter of perspective. Your ancestors revered me but despite all that, my kin and I all adopted this form long ago, so that we might. In time, we grew fond of the sensory delights it affords. Desire. No. Long ago, I swore to Persephone that This is like me. She has been known by many names. Ereshkigal to the Sumerians, Isis to the Egyptians, or perhaps you might know her as the god. Your gaze lingers too long. That is my servant. You would have met by the river, though she wears many faces and goes by Kumutabal to the Sumerians, Kirti to... Her role is to ferry souls between the mortal world and this one. For that, she earned herself the infamous... You will talk more later. As you wish. It has come to be known simply as the Underworld. That is a long story. You see, long ago my kin and I set out from our home on Elysium to search for... We discovered your planet and witnessed your kind. You all but destroyed yourselves. Your 2 short lives being... Yet Proserpina saw raw potential. So we revealed ourselves to your people in a place called Sumer. For a time you flourished, but soon you were too many for us to oversee. And as we had sown the seeds of dependency and confusion, and my kin had seen enough and gave up on your kind. We began preparations to return to Elysium, our home world, but my Proserpina could not bear to abandon your kind without guidance, and knowing it would force she made an extraordinary sacrifice. And so she began her inescapable. Horrified, I acted swiftly. And then I pleaded with Proserpina's father, with a Roman. It was and is my hope that once there, but he refused. I did everything I could to persuade. Humans were unworthy of ascension to Elysium. But seeing that I was aggrieved, he proposed if even one human city could prove itself capable of living without sin for a single year, then Proserpina and all of humanity would be permitted to join us in Elysium. My part would be to remain behind, the last of my kind, to watch over you. And so my reward has been to languish here, enduring a 3,000 so that I might take her with me to Elysium. And here I am. That is a... And then there were also gods who, like me, have been known. Our leader Jupiter, as well as Neptune, Saturn, Juno, Minerva, Mars, and of course, as the first wave of your kind arrived from Sumer, I had them build a city. I had them build the entrance as a vertical shaft leading to baths to cleanse them of the sins. I watched wave after wave of Sumerians arrive, and as their civilization declined, of course, believing themselves to be the superior civilization, the Egyptians promptly built over. After another 1,000 years, the Greeks began to arrive. They built upon the underworlds of their predecessors, renamed to ensure the wage was fair. To this end, I had my servant distribute 1,000 tokens fashioned from silver, a rare element at the time, across all. Whoever died while in possession of one of them would be located by my servant and ferried to this place, with no memory of how they arrived. As the tokens were discovered, they were traded, smelted, and fashioned into trinkets, and eventually coins, spreading to Egypt like seeds on the wind. Later, when they spread to Greece, they would come to be known as Charon's obol, or as coins for the ferryman. Some placed coins in the mouths of their dead, hoping. In fact, almost all of the tokens are accounted for. Only 2 remain. And so after this wave destroys it, your kind will have squandered the last of its potential to ascend. It is a regrettable story. One of the first men who came to this place was to be rid of him. I returned him to his people, on the condition that my servant erased his... But the erasure did not take completely, and he told his tales were committed to writing, which came to be known as the Epic of Gilgamesh, and his words would... Later the Egyptians would adapt Sumer's. Their Book of the Dead and Book of Gates bore less and less resemblance to this place. Then when the Greeks began to arrive, they proved a warrior named Heracles, 2 kings named Sisyphus and Theseus, a poet named Orpheus, and a Trojan named Aeneas. They each told embellished tales of this place. And so from Sumer to Egypt, Greece to Rome, Of course. That is merely the name your people. That is a story dating back to the very first wave. Now this man was unmarried, and many women were vying to become his wife. Of all the women, two were particularly ambitious. Both were beautiful, their hair woven in elaborate fashion. The first woman draped herself in jewelry, ornate. Seeing this ostentatious display, the second, she prayed aloud to any gods that would listen to cover her in gold. While the others indulged at the banquet, the second woman summoned the first. She checked that nobody was watching, and pushed her rival from the top of the ziggurat, where she broke her neck. But I was watching. I took the golden bow left behind by Diana, and I shot that woman in the... and I left her to stand there, that she might serve as a grim reminder of what befalls. But that was not enough, for the entire city was tainted, so I had no choice but to wipe the slate clean. I gilded them all, and to this day, each of them, and all who came, suspended in time with only their sight and hearing preserved, so they may bear witness to and lament the folly of your kind for eternity. I give your kind a second chance at life, and when you disobey, and you always disobey, and so you ask, if you destroy yourselves. When my kin departed, they left behind many relics. The golden bow originally belonged to one of my kin. As my collection of golden statues grew, I chose the most ferocious and tasked them with hunting down the Forsaken at my behest. I've always considered that the cornerstone of morality is the ability. No attempt to lay out rules like your Code of Hammurabi or your 12 Tables of the Roman Republic. This should come as no surprise to you, since the Egyptians made a rudimentary attempt with, the Greeks refined it with, avoid doing what you would blame. The Roman Stoics added, treat your inferior as you would wish your superior to treat you. Even the so-called cultists hiding among you often say, do unto others as you would have them do unto. It is the simplest of concepts, yet none of the peoples who... Enough. You... I am able to commune with all of the statues in the city. If she was still conscious, I suppose... Then what an... Do you plan to speak in sweeping generalizations? I've seen no such thing. Taking one's own life is a self-directed act. It is not, therefore it cannot be said that one who commits suicide. Applying this rule always requires us to interpret the meaning of the words, literally. Supposing you are right, then my law has been... Then your desire to be... You will make a... Do you... How dare you... The many shall suffer for the sins of the one. You will suffer And here you are. Allow me to introduce no girl, but the one and what they will first. I would recognize that anywhere. And yet you vile You have... If I refuse, you will murder her. And yet, if I agree, I will lose my wager and return to Elysium. Perhaps you are cleverer. I do not see that I have a choice in this. Your trick, and now you have shown me your species' true colors. And I see that this has gone on too long. It is time for me to let go of this form of her. But know this, if I abandon the way... I will have Charon make arrangements to ferry the others. But as for... Once this exodus begins, the events that brought you to this moment, what will become of you is difficult to predict. Now, you had best pray our paths never cross again.
Oh. Hi there. Well? Know who you... Oh, did that lady in the forest send you in here? I'm fairly certain you and I are the first people to set... Fortunately for us, the last person in here was a Roman man named Galerius. Apparently, there was a community of 20-something people trapped in here. They believed that if even one person sinned, an unknown... Then, one day, just as Galerius had finished praying for a good harvest at the shrine of Proserpina, an oracle appeared and told him how to solve the ills of the city, saving the life of a dying, foiling an assassin, and so on. Meanwhile, the oracle walked up to the temple of the mysterious god, this one right here, and the doors just... Nobody knows what went on in there, but Galerius wrote because the next thing he knew, the ground shook, and the voice of that god... Unfortunately, Galerius' account just sort of stops. What became of him and the other people? And did this mysterious oracle single-handedly undo the curse that... What? Anyway, I think I found a way out through the aqueduct that... I'm gonna pause here for a moment and make sure nobody... You go on.
You're back! Why don't you... I see. I thought you might. Well, now you know. I suppose you have questions. You can just call me Charon, if you like. I am sorry I was not completely honest with you when we first met. I do not enjoy deceiving people. Believe me, I do not. But I have learned, from 5,000 years of experience, that most people find comfort in familiarity, in gradual change, and coming to see the truth in their own time. That you died, of course. You were dead when I brought you here. My role, as the servant of the god of the underworld, has always been... Usually, when people do not remember, most souls would rather not. Ask yourself on. As you wish. You were exploring an old tomb when you discovered a cache of forgotten relics, including 2 silver coins of ancient origin. Unfortunately, as you emerged into daylight, you were set upon by 2 thieves. A nearby hiker saw the scuffle break out and leapt to your aid, trying to help you recover your bounty. You both fought bravely, but your assailants were armed, and you were not. There was nothing you or your ally could have done. He died instantly at the scene, and you followed a few hours later. That man's name was Al Worth. You were each in possession of a sacred coin, called Charon's Opal by some, and so it was my duty to bring you here. It means I am now bereft of purpose. There is nobody else to ferry here, nobody to keep you company. After 5,000 years, the underworld has finally run its course. Perhaps you have heard the tales of the Greeks and Romans. Well, those stories contain. A long time ago, my orders. It means there is. I see no point in keeping you here. But I have to ask one thing. That you keep this to yourself.
Look! Here comes Al now. Al! It's so good to see you. You were gone so long I thought I'd never see you again.
Kinda lost track of time in there. You wouldn't believe what we found. The ruin, and there was a tablet describing an oracle who confronted a god.
Sounds like quite a story. And you two look exhausted. Why don't you...
Sounds good to me.
And you? Are you ready to go home?
Hey, you made it. It's great to see you again. I read your book, and what the critics said about it. I guess they weren't ready for your theories about the underworld. Anyway, after everything you've been through, I thought you might appreciate some good news. So after we got back to the real world, I started doing some research into the people mentioned in Galerius' tablet, and I found something strange. I'm sorry I've been so cryptic. I've been dying to tell you, I just really wanted you to see this for yourself. Why don't you head on down there? I'll catch up with you at the other end.
Oh, hello. There he is.
It's you.
You're finally here. Remember me? It's a crazy story. After you disappeared, Charon appeared and told us she was returning us to the world. Even gave us some coins to help us start our lives over. Only, for some reason, she returned us to your world instead of ours. Anyway, I know we only ever had that one conversation, and I wasn't even sure if you'd remember me, but I wanted to say thanks for freeing us from the underworld and giving us a second chance at life. Oh, I used Charon's gift to buy a farm in Umbria. Got a villa on it too, with enough room for Dooley, of course. It's hard work, but I sleep soundly every night. I'm finally my own man. I know! I can't believe my luck either. We're planning to get married next spring. If you're gonna... Of course, there's a whole museum full of people waiting for a chance to thank...
You're here. It's lovely to finally meet you. So, you're the hero who somehow vanquished... I'm just teasing. Actually, and it still feels a little sacrilegious to say this, I'm finding life after religion quite enjoyable. Galerius and I are engaged, and it feels like the world has just... Oh, we're just so thankful. Oh, it's sweet of you to ask. She recovered nicely. See you...
Hello, I'm Dooley. Galerius said you're very nice, and a big help. I live at Galerius and Equitia's house. They look after me now. Treasure? Oh, I forgot about that. Bye-bye.
You're... Oh, of course, sorry. And I never got to chat... And of course... Oh, I bet I'm living in a house share in London with my wonderful girlfriend. And I'm studying English at university. Eventually, I want to travel the world and write about it. Turns out, it's about 30 times bigger than the Roman Empire ever was. Did you know there are entire continents Rome never knew exist? And you can travel almost anywhere in an aircraft, which is rather like flying on a Pegasus, but much more comfortable. Oh, sorry, you already know all that, of course. I have noticed people from your time have no idea how... Last I heard, Malleolus kept insisting he was the last rightful ruler of the Roman Empire. And as for Claudia, she was always so viciously unhappy. Someone said she'd blown all her money on wine, trying to drink herself back to the underworld. After the horrific way they treated Ulpius and me, I can't help feeling a sense of... Thank you. Ugh, someone told me she was boasting about getting her claws into some even in your time life. Apparently he'd proposed before they'd even met. Nigeria? Some people have all the luck. Really? Huh. I feel better already. You too! If you're ever in London, let me... I hope.
You are here. It's nice. Lucy is fine. I'm making an effort to blend in. If the world knew we died 2,000 years ago and was... Speaking of which, I wanted to say thank you in person. I'm studying to get into medical school. When it ended, I realized I missed it. You too.
Hey.
Hi there, I'm Horatius. I understand we have you to thank for giving us a... I'm living up north and studying in the military academy in Modena. I'm going to be an officer. The world's changed a lot. Still, I have to keep challenging the ones who pioneered... Ah, you remembered that. In the words of Epictetus, remind yourself. Thanks. He's not my... Oh, I see what you did there. He had more trouble adapting them. He got himself disqualified from the UFC. So he started some kind of underground blood sport or supposed appeal to people's baser instincts. But his luck finally ran out. And his life up... You're not... And you.
I take it you're the Oracle? Actually, I changed my name to Cynthia. I didn't want... I'm not sure if you heard, but after you drove... She knew right away what none of us had figured out about that psychopath. But he's been dealt with. He's... anything I want. I'm a woman of means in a vast need. Of course, I mostly just stay in my villa and have my servant Alexa summon things for me, because it's just awful out there. He's still there, all alone. The last golden statue in the underworld. Trapped. Eternal torment. You too.
Hello.
Greetings. You must be the legend. I am told we have... I am reacquainting myself with Greece. Perhaps one day. Once I hope you will join.
Hello.
You...
You're... the one we've been... I wanted to say thanks for sending Galerius to save my life. I'm just so happy to be... Well, not like I have to work with all the silver Charon gave me, so... Mostly that means baking for my friends and looking at memes while binging TV shows in yoga pants. What a... Thank... you.
I take it you're the Oracle everybody's... We have. I never thought I'd leave that cave, let alone the city. And it seems I have your... I'm working as a consultant to the Faculty of Classics at Cambridge University. Not that I need the money, but... my
Oh, hello. It's lovely to meet you. I'm thankful that you're here. I was sure the person who drove up, but thank you for coming and for saving. I'm living in Rome again, in a charming little flat by the Tiber. Not far from my old place. After you sent Galerius to persuade Ulpius not to take his own life, I was inspired. I just want to spend the rest of my life helping people. Thank you. That means a lot. And you. Oh, and I hope this isn't too forward, but some of us are going out for a drink after this, if you'd like to join us. Wonderful.
Good evening. Greetings. Thank you for your kind words, and I'm recovering. Octavia was... Ah, you remember that. I'm already up to the 19th century. Men have called me mad. And you?
Hello there.
Some soiree, innit? Ah, hello at last. You must be the Oracle. Listen, I wanted to express my sincere appreciation for what you did. If it wasn't for you, I'd never be... Whatever you did in that temple made me a very well... Such acerbic wit. I love it. I took the money I made from selling my trinkets and started investing in the stock market. In fact, I was hoping to ask your advice. You being the Oracle and future seer, I can't decide between fossil fuels, tobacco, gambling and arms. What would you recommend? Oh, don't be like that. You can tell your old pal Dacia. Oh, of course, yeah. I was just thinking the same thing. Of course, don't let me keep you.
It is an honor to find you. Oh, of course. I too would like to offer my thanks for releasing. For a time, I returned to Alexandria. Instead, I have decided to follow the custom of your youths and backpack the world. It is... I spent the first 25 years of my... Indeed. Thank you.
Hello there. Oh, I go by Gabriella now. I didn't want to be reminded of that monster every time I heard my own name. After you drove Pluto off, Proserpina came and Don't worry. I'm living... I'm so grateful to you. You can try some... Thanks.
Hi. It's nice to finally put a... I understand I have... The way you just showed up out of the blue. I'm living with Gabriella in Umbria. Every day I look at her, so we're living each day to the... sitting together on our terrace, and I... Thank you. You too.
Nice to meet you. I go by Rufus now. For what you did. Sorry, I live with Virgil in Rotterdam, not far from where he grew up. It's very modern. Haven't decided. Huh. Good to know. Anyway, it was good. You too. Look us up next time you're in the Netherlands.
It's so nice to finally meet you. I wanted to thank and for helping Rufus come to terms with himself. I'm studying to be an architect again, and living with Rufus of course it's improved immensely. You natives of the 21st century. You too, as Rufus, if you...
There you are. I hope you enjoyed that. Now, there's one more person I wanted to introduce you to. I think you know her.
Sorry if I frightened you. Just a little joke I've been saving for a long, long time. Allow me to introduce myself properly. I am Proserpina, former goddess of the cycle of life and renewal, and now a regular mortal. I wanted to meet you in person, and thank you for freeing all these people, and me. I hate to think what would have happened to us without your intervention. Indeed. Suffice it to say that while Pluto was, I was able to control their tongues. I am sorry my messages were so cryptic. I did. I may have given up my immortality. After witnessing Pluto punish countless poor souls over, so I tried to give them a way to buy more time. So I whispered to Sentius in secret, telling him the prayer required. I knew the danger of humans being corrupted by godly. I required the creator of the portal to sacrifice their own life. What I did not anticipate is that Sentius would retain his accumulated memories from each previous day. And as a veteran soldier, he quickly discovered that he could, in effect, prolong. Of course, once I had taught him the prayer, I could not unteach him. And we were all fortunate. I don't know what happened to him. I haven't heard. Oh, she inherited dominion over the underworld. She wouldn't say what it was. And you. Oh, and one last thing. Good. Because they remember you. Well done, my friend. Of all the heroes who ever journeyed to the underworld and returned, none came close to achieving what you did. Hercules, Orpheus, Theseus, and Aeneas would be proud.
If I refuse, you will murder her. And yet, if I agree, I will lose my wager. I do not...
Hey, you're not thinking about going into the cistern, are you?
You... What? I hate... You're back. There's no time. What?
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Salve, friend. What? But I doubt I'll be able to gather more than a hand.
How did you know? He's here. He must... You distract him. Stay right here and keep him talking while I look for something I can use.
What did you do with Scintilla? Where is she? So, you discovered my secret. So what? What are you going to do about it? Do you really think you can take on a dick? Who? Scintilla? Where is she?
I'm right here, Father.
The many shall suffer
I have his
for the
key.
sins
I
of
can
the
open the
one.
gate. Come on. We have to go. The others should be right behind us. Hey, what's happening to you? That light, it's so bright.
Hi there. Give me... What? So you're saying... I guess... Maybe we can escape through the same...
You're back! But...
I don't know what became of you, or if you'll ever read this.
Sounds like you meant...
So-
And you?
Hey, Well, it's nice to meet... Really? You're a soldier? Oh.
If you're reading this, it means I've discovered the entrance to an ancient Roman city. If you're reading this, it means I've discovered the entrance to an ancient Roman city hidden deep underground. Its existence is long forgotten, all knowledge of it lost, except in the Latin inscription here. It reads, "You who wish to enter the city, step forth and be judged. The virtuous shall be rewarded with eternal life in paradise. The wicked shall find themselves showered in gold, but in vain, for this shall be their final resting place." Could an underground city have remained a secret for all this time? Could people have survived? To whoever reads this, I'm sorry you had to find me like this. And worse, that you'll suffer the same fate I did. I've spent a lifetime in this place, going around and around in circles, searching for a way out. The inscription was right. There is no way back. And here there are only two options: death, or that godforsaken doorway into the past. I made the mistake of stepping through it. I wanted to set things right. And I tried. I really...
Oh, can't have... But you live by... Oh.
Ixion turns.
There is proof of a
Hey, Horatius. How's it feel knowing your man's... Hey! You're not thinking about going into the cistern, are you?
Thank you. What?
Ugh.
The shrine is...
Stop right there. I'm not sure I am. So, is that understood? You are... Do you have any last words? Ah, you'd squander. Now, once I'm done and I can...
The many shall...
Now, you're probably one. All that matters. Wonderful. What is... Don't be so... to us.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Oh. Well, really? He described an event about 2,000 years ago. The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.